Alright, so XSR900. I'm gonna talk about suspension adjustment today. So this is the stock suspension. I'm gonna do the front one first and do a rear one on a separate video. So anyways, so stock suspension setup. A couple of things before I start talking about the adjustment. I actually dropped the triple down basically as far as it could go on here. So it comes out to about, I would say, probably 14 or 15 millimeters or so, dropping down. And just because, you know, I only have a 30 inch inseam. All right, so let's talk about suspension. First thing you want to do before you do any adjustment is you actually want to check the preload. You know, this bike is known to have somewhat a softer front springs than compared to the rear. So, but I mean, I'm a lightweight rider, fully geared up with my leathers and, you know, my leather suit, helmet, gloves, boots, and everything on. My riding weight is about 160 pounds, and on the preload here, so this is the preload adjustment. And this, you know, both sides, they have these little lines here, and you could use that as a guide to where how far you gone up or down. So basically, mine is actually backed all the way up. So basically, I have minimal preload because I'm so light. And how you can figure out preload is you know, the number that they say is good for a bike is somewhere between the sag, meaning how much the suspension compresses down from its full extension to the rider sitting on the bike. The sag is somewhere between I would say 20 to 30%. 30% if you want a little bit on the softer end. If you want to really firm, you know, go with a 20%. So with my rider weight, I actually, you know, for the amount of total travel on this fork here, the sag would be, you know, at 30%. The sag would be 41 millimeters. I forget what the travel on this is, and you guys could look that up, how much total travel it is. So how I check my sag is I'm using a zip tie here, right? I have a zip tie, and I basically grab the forks so that I'm grabbing the forks, and I basically lift up the front end of the bike. You know, bring this up here, and this zip tie all the way up. I lift up the front end of the bike as far as I could, and what I did was actually I measured, you know, once I lifted up so that the rear wheel is actually off the ground. I actually measured from the bottom of the seal to right here, and it actually measured exactly what pretty much exactly what Yamaha says the full suspension travel is, and I forget how much it was. So anyways, I lifted all the way up to the wheels off the ground, bring this all the way up, then I slowly, really easily let it down, right? Then basically, and you have to do this on a flat level surface, okay? And I'm geared up, you know, have my whole riding suit and everything on. Then I straighten out the bike, and I get on it, and I do it really, really easy, really slow. I mean, I'm not geared up right now, so I'm not geared up right now, so it won't be the accurate show of preload, but I could just show you an example. So now I'm straddling the bike, I'm really lightly on top of it. Bike's completely upright. And I lift up both my feet for like a brief second, and that's right there is basically your preload, right? Then I really easily get the bike back onto its side stand, and you can see that once I get off it, it goes back up. So basically, that's how much your preload is. From there, you can either have the measurement from the full length, and you can measure from the top of the zip tie down to where it was, or you could just again lift this up until it's off the ground, and you can measure from the bottom of the seal to the top of the zip tie, and that gets you your preload measurement. For me, for my weight and the stock springs and at the minimal preload adjustment, I actually have 40 millimeters of sag, and if I were to get 30%, it would actually be 41 millimeters. So basically, I'm pretty close. I'm about a millimeter away, which is just about right. So set that up first, right? And it's a good idea to do this several times and measure it each time, so that you could get an average, an average of what it is, just in case you might be off on one or the other. Or even better yet, you have someone measure this while you're sitting on it, measure the difference from how much sag you got and compared to full extension. Okay, so that's preload. So once you got the preload properly, now it's time to adjust the rebound, because this bike, it doesn't have compression dampening; it only has rebound. So both sides has preload, but only the throttle side here has rebound. So here's the rebound knob, or excuse me, the little flathead adjustment knob right there. And if you look at it, it shows it says S in counterclockwise, H clockwise. So that basically means soft and hard. What Yamaha refers to as soft and hard. I like to think of it as slow and fast. So basically, the soft setting, Yamaha's what it says soft S, that would basically be soft setting would be fast rebound. Basically, not much dampening control at all. It just brings back and forth real quick. Hard rebound is basically slowing the rebound down. One of the things I do is you can see how I took a marker and shaded in one side of this adjustment knob here, and I do that because sometimes you lose your place in how many turns you have. So this knob actually has about 3 turns, or maybe 3 1/4 turns or so, from full clockwise all the way to full counterclockwise, or vice versa. So how you could start, and I forget what Yamaha's factory adjustment is. I think they say it in the owner's manual. But how you could start here is you can either go, say, neither full clockwise or full counterclockwise, basically full fast rebound or full slow rebound. From one of those full settings, full counterclockwise or full clockwise, since this thing has 3 full turns, I would turn it from full one direction to the other, full turn, then turn it back the other direction, 1 full turn, and ride it around, and for a little bit. And you can also do that from the other direction. So how I originally started with this was that I actually had it set at the softest, or basically the fastest rebound, full counterclockwise. Then I went clockwise 1 full turn. Then I rolled around and see how that did. Then I came back and I turned the thing to full clockwise. Then counterclockwise 1 full turn. I rolled around and see how that was. Then I compared it to which one felt better. And the one that felt better, that's the one that that's where I could start from. So for me, my weight and my riding style and the roads here and everything, I actually went to the full hard setting, basically meaning full rebound, full slow rebound. From there, I turned it counterclockwise towards the softer side setting, 1 full turn. I rode around and that felt much better than the other way. From there, I basically go either 1 click too faster or one click slower, or basically 1 click harder or softer, and see which one feels better. And I go from there, and I go 1 click at a time. Once you figure out if it's clockwise direction or counterclockwise direction that feels better, then keep on going in that direction 1 click at a time. Then when you feel it getting worse, click it back, and that's when you could basically start to compare each separate click settings. All right, so that's how you adjust your rebound and how you figure it out. And you have to ride a lot of varied conditions just to see what it feels like. So, and it takes several hundred miles to get this dialed in properly. But also at the same time, this bike's still pretty new. It only has it only has like 650 miles or so. So the springs are actually not broken in yet. The suspension the springs don't usually fully break in until about 3,000+ miles, depending how heavy you are and how aggressively you ride. Um, when you're more aggressive, more heavier, it breaks in a little bit sooner versus lighter, less aggressive, etc. So I'm not, I'm real light, and the first 600 miles I was taking it really easy for breaking in the engine. So haven't been riding that hard. As the miles add up, I will ride harder, and I have to come back to this. I have to come back to this, readjust it. Also, I have to double check my my preload, right? I have to double check the preload, the sag, after a little while before the you know why it breaks in. When it breaks in, it changes a little bit. So you have to basically come back to this when it's more worn out or more broken in. So I would say probably about 3,000 miles. Usually, I find that suspension fully breaks in around there or a little past there. But the first 1,000 miles you feel it feels the most different from 0 miles to the first 1,000. After that, the difference is a little bit less and less. But usually around 3,000 or so miles, that's when it fully breaks in. Sometimes a little more. So that's how you adjust your suspension, or front fork anyways. So I'm gonna do the rear on a separate video. Thanks for watching.